listening to the Nerdy Reads podcast, a hipster goblin media production.
Welcome to the Nerdy Reads podcast. We read nerdy stuff such as sci-fi, fantasy books, comics, manga, and horror. We also discuss all other things from around the nerd globe. And today we begin a new book club book called Incidents Around the House. This has been a highly anticipated one for our team, and it seems there's been some buzz around our socials with this one. Stephen King once wrote, "The basis of all human fears are a closed door, slightly ajar." And so far, this story has me checking my closet before I lay down to go to sleep. We will also take a trip to the New Stuff Cafe where the guys are going to be trying some spicy queso, and we will share some ghost stories from Reddit. There's a book happening, some nerdy news, and a lot of fun along the way. I'm one of your hosts, Justin, and with me is my friend and the guy that Dylan calls Other Daddy. It's Robert.
Toasty!
Woo! I didn't know I was going to come in here as the Other Daddy. But Justin, as always, I'm excited to be here for another episode of the Nerdy Reads podcast. And dude, you know what? Let's just intro the guy who can comment on the other podcast postings, but not any of his own. It's Dylan.
What?
I love that you put a picture up.
No way.
Here's a picture of Dylan.
On our stuff all the time.
Hold up, bro. Hold up, bro. Robert, go ahead and pull up our social on Facebook, bro. Let's go ahead and do a little scrolly scroll.
Yeah, I just need to remove that and just find just scroll through the Nerdy Reads podcast Facebook for the last time we've had any interaction from our very own sweet baby Dylan. But we're not here to slander Dylan. We're here for fun. Dylan, what's up?
Oh, you know, not a whole lot. Just got slandered on the show. But that's okay. We're chilling. Listen.
It's officially the first week of fall. Have you guys watched anything spooky yet?
Me and Maggie watched a movie, and I meant to look up the title of this movie. It's newer. It's on Max, and it's about these people who go to, I feel like it's like Denmark or somewhere, and there's like a cult thing happening. Anybody heard of this movie?
Nah. I mean, you have me engaged, though.
I gotta go find the name of this movie now.
I don't recall any particular spooky movie that I've watched recently, but one movie that I have watched recently that it can be considered horror and is very adjacent to Halloween, or really basically is about Halloween, is something that we actually reviewed on the most recent episode of the Optic Blast broadcast. So if you haven't gone and checked that out, make sure you go check that out. But we watched The Crow. What a phenomenal film from 1994. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch it. If you haven't seen it, still go watch our episode. And yeah.
All right, I found my movie.
What you got? Hit me.
It is this. Have you seen this?
I have not seen this. A lot of people's told me to see Midsommar. I've heard a lot of good things about this one. It's high on my list to watch. In fact, you know what, dude? Sweeping declaration. I'm watching it this weekend. I got you.
We watched it. Me and Maggie watched it. I don't know if it was last weekend. Maybe it was last weekend. And yeah, dude, that movie's pretty it's pretty wild, dude. Pretty wild. So yeah. I mean, I don't know if highly recommend is the word I would use, but it's good.
Dude, I'll check it out. I went and watched Speak No Evil, and it was a pretty interesting movie. I liked it a lot. Slow burn horror, some crazy stuff at the end. That one house elf in our Discord actually let me know that it's a remake, and it's actually a remake of a fairly recent movie. The original came out in 2022, and this is just the American version of it. Recommend it. I'm also watching a show called What We Do in the Shadows. I think both of you would love it. It's an Office-style mockumentary, but it's following 3 vampires around.
Hey,
and it is hilarious. I'm looking forward to checking out Agatha all along this week. And lastly, for Anime Tofu, we're going to be covering Uzumaki over on Adult Swim.
Hey, that's what's up. All right, guys. So we have some book happenings. So every now and again we find something that's very interesting in the book world. And today I just wanted to read this. Robert actually found this, but this is super cool. A lady named Sonia Nisley Kinsley, something like that, head of children's services at Clark County, Ohio Public Library, has seen it happen over and over again. Someone walks into her location and applies for a library card with one obvious aim. As soon as they get their card, they immediately place a hold on a ghost hunting kit. Like many libraries, CCPL has begun loaning out collections of specialized electronic items said to help seekers of the supernatural track down spirits. These kits usually consist of a backpack or carrying case filled with items such as Spirit Box, which scans radio frequencies in hopes of encountering ghostly voices, an electromagnetic field EMF meter, on the theory that ghosts can manipulate EMFs, and a recorder for capturing electronic voice phenomena, aka messages from beyond the veil. Amazing. We know this is not your typical book happenings that we normally do, but we love hearing about libraries getting creative and how they engage with the public. So I have a question for you guys. Have either of you ever done any ghost hunting in your life or interested? Dylan, you said you were a ghost hunting kind of guy.
I would love to go ghost hunting. I think it would be a fun little time, but I've never actually been. I would love to, but I have never actually been. I am very big into watching on the YouTubes people that do ghost hunting. While I'm very much skeptical about most of it, it's still very entertaining to at least watch. Beyond the Barrier is one of those YouTube channels that I do watch that does that kind of stuff, and they are really entertaining, but I'm interested.
Dylan, let's go ghost hunting.
Let's do it.
Let's drive up to Columbus. We're going to pick Justin up, and we're going to go to the nearest haunted spot with some checked out library gear.
No, bro, here's what we're doing. I'm meeting you boys in Scottsburg, and we're going to, there's a cemetery in Scottsburg that is currently super haunted, so we'll do that.
I've done the ghost hunting thing, not with official equipment, and if I ever took official equipment and I heard like a voice or even the murmurings of a voice on it, I'm done ghost hunting. I'm retired. I'm out. All it's going to take is once. But yeah, I'm interested. Let's do it.
You know, it's funny because there's, we used to, when I was a, young lad, we used to go ghost hunting with makeshift equipment as much as we possibly could. We took recorders and all that kind of stuff. The cemetery that's in Scottsburg is the one that we would probably go and visit. Check it out. It's called Bridgewater Cemetery. And we used to go up there late at night, and there were some eerie things that happened up there. I don't know about voices and stuff, but it's weird because you're out in the middle of nowhere, isolated, no lights, no nothing. It's out in the middle of the country. The cemetery's super old. But it is fun. There's just like some sort of adrenaline rush that comes with doing those types of things. So, all right, you heard it here first. We will go ghost hunting sometime this October season. We will come back to New Stuff Cafe, and we will share with you in our experiences.
Hold on. We're not just going to come back. We're going to have to record our experiences.
You can post
it on our socials. Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Hey, you will. Dylan said, yeah, you heard it here first. I guess we're recording. I hope it doesn't turn out like Blair Witch Project, but we'll see.
I hope this isn't the precursor that people show, before the footage in the woods or whatever.
Oh, dude, I know. Just three friends like, oh, we're going to go do this. And now we're all dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. All right, we got to turn the page here. All right, guys, give us a few minutes. We'll be right back. We're going to be in the New Stuff Cafe here in just a minute. Hey, welcome back to the New Stuff Cafe. Here in just a minute, we're going to talk about some scary stories from Reddit. But before we do, Robert and Dylan are going to talk about what they're having. But I wanted to say something really quickly. Today, I did not come empty-handed. I endorse the Coca-Cola Oreo so much that I bought yet another Oreo Coca-Cola Zero. That's how much I like this. So, Robert, what are you having?
Oh, my gosh! What just happened?
What are you doing, you creep? Dude. Oh my gosh, dude. That's Lucy. She scared me so bad, dude. She's just sitting in this dark kitchen. And we're reading a horror book. Hey, I'm keeping all this on the episode. It's fine. You guys can hear that I literally almost died from a heart attack because my daughter's just sitting here staring at me from a dark room as we're reading a story about a little girl who's a creepo. So, all right, sorry, dude. Gosh,
They give me flashbacks to that one time that Maggie posted that video of you singing in the bathroom, and she's scared.
Dude, that scared me so bad. All right, sorry. Whew, Robert.
Whatever Lucy wants from any ice cream shop, the next time I come up there, it's hers. All right, dude, here we go. Today I'm having Qdoba. It's one of my all-time favorite fast casual eating joints. They dropped their spiciest queso yet, the Apocalypto queso. It's a this culinary delight is a base of queso Diablo, which is already supposed to be hot, topped with fiery hot crunchies, which kind of look like Cheetos. I think they just dumped Cheetos in my cheese sauce, man. Salsa roja, habanero salsa, and pickled jalapenos. And honestly, I don't think anything at Qdoba quantifies as spicy, so I'm excited to see if this combination does something.
I mean, it may at least be good.
Yeah, it might be
because some of their salsas are pretty solid.
Yeah, dude, their habanero sauce is delicious.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So
my Cheetos have been festering in the bottom of my queso, so I'm sure they're quite soggy.
Look at that. That just
mine's all mixed
soggy Cheetos.
Soggy cheese. I don't.
There it is, dude. Don't be scared. Drink it. Skull. Chug a chug.
You know what, dude?
I ain't doing that.
So,
have a good time.
Ew. For those who are an audio listener, our buddy here, Robert, just took a swig of some queso.
Yeah, it wasn't good, dude.
I'm just taking it by the chip.
There you go.
I'm going to do something for audio listeners out of respect, and I'm going to mute my mic so you don't hear this crunch.
What a guy. Dylan has no respect for the audio listener. He actually leaned even further into the mic so that way you could hear the crunch. Dylan, what do you think, dude? Are you a queso guy?
I love queso. I'm not a spicy food guy, but this really isn't that bad.
Okay.
It doesn't. I feel like spice just takes away from the experience of the flavor. While I think the spice does take away from the experience of the flavor in this, it's not that spicy, which surprised me.
But is it good?
It's okay. I'd rather eat regular queso just because I don't like the spicy. But it's not terrible.
Robert's on chip number 9, so I'm assuming Robert likes this to some degree. All right, we got the thumbs up from Robert. His mic is still muted. I'm sure he will come in here in just a moment to share with us his experience with the Inferno queso from Qdoba. What's up, bro?
Fire.
Good?
Not spicy, but delicious. In fact, I think if you order this, get it without those Cheeto crunchies. Because when I get maybe it's better if you eat it right when you get it. Mine, as Dylan said, has been festering for almost an hour at this point. So the crunchies are real soggy. And when I get a bite with the soggy crunchy in there, it's like, hold on. But when I get a bite without that, it's like, man, this is all those salsas with the pickled jalapenos and the queso Diablo. You get a bite of all that. Wow.
Nice. All right. So you heard it here first. It has the endorsement from Robert. Dylan said it wasn't bad.
It's just not my cup of tea.
But you're not disgusted, is what you're saying.
No, I mean
not
it's edible. Yeah. I wouldn't be upset if I was at a party and this was the only option of queso. I wouldn't be upset about it.
Okay. We'll take that as an endorsement from Sweet Baby Dylan. We will. All right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. You guys know we're reading a book called Incidents Around the House. We're going to get into that even more here in just a moment. But to keep with the spooky theme, we went and found some scary stories from Reddit. So I'm going to read real scary stories from the people of the internet, and we will determine if they are real or attempt to debunk them. based on a paragraph of someone's experience. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get us started. This is the first one. This is a weird post, but I'm fairly sure my house is haunted. And I want to see about others having similar experiences. The house was built in 1954, and I moved in about 2.5 years ago. I live alone with my dog. Things started happening within a few weeks of moving in. Lights turning on and off, doors closing on their own, etc. One night I was sitting at the kitchen island eating dinner, and a hand grabbed my torso. I also randomly smell cigarette smoke or a strong perfume from time to time. My guest bedroom is carpeted, and you can easily see if someone has walked across the carpet, but often the blinds will be randomly open with no visible footprints on the carpet. All right, guys, based on what you just heard, real? Or can you debunk this chilling tale from the house built in 1954?
Well, dude, I don't know if I can debunk it, but the one thing that just stands out to me as odd is the hand on the torso bit.
Sure.
I feel like if there are ghosts and they are going to interact with us, like I could see them like opening a cabinet, or maybe like you walk in and you think you hear something, but you're unsure because your mind just doesn't comprehend, like a invisible being saying, "Hey," or something like that. You know what I mean? But a full on like hand on the torso, nah, bruh. That ain't a ghost. That's a demon at that point. You need to call somebody.
Dude, so this one time, Maggie will tell you this. So we all just experienced just a few fleeting moments ago that I almost died from a heart attack as Lucy scared me to death. But in our old house, when we first moved in, I walked down the stairs and screamed bloody murder because I thought I felt fingertips go like this, lightly brush across the back of my neck, like this, okay, just like that, and and I freaked out, bro. And I'm like running down the stairs, I come running up, and Maggie goes, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Dude, fingertips just touched the back of my neck." And for the longest time, I thought it was a ghost. And a couple weeks later, I go back down the stairs, and I felt something very similar again. Come to find out, there was a cobweb hanging just so that lightly was brushing against the back of my neck if I walked down a certain part of the steps. So, but I mean, hand on the torso is a very different thing. So I don't know.
I believe it.
Hey, there it is.
Thank you, Dylan. My sister used to live in a 1,000-year-old house in England. I honestly thought she was losing her mind when she kept telling me about the ghost that would purloin her items. Purloin? I don't know. Move things around, etc. One day I was visiting and she said, "It's here." I and her 2 teenage daughters went to the foot of the stairs, and on the landing was a ball of fractal-looking light about the size of a soccer ball. 1,000-year-old house is an old house.
It is an old house. What do you mean, like the soccer ball was just like one of those like orbs of light that people like say
it
are
says
ghosts
the
in
size. Okay, let me reread that real quick. It says on the landing was a ball of fractal looking light about the size of a soccer ball. So it wasn't a soccer ball, but I'm guessing it's some sort of light the size of a soccer ball, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, pretty wild. I don't buy this one.
Nah, bro. No way.
0% chance.
It probably was a soccer ball, and the sun was just shining perfectly onto it, and it was reflecting, and it looked like a...
This is the kind of debunking stuff we need, Dylan. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan.
Yes, Dylan. Let's go with that. Yeah. Shining light on an actual soccer ball. You're in England. Everybody plays football in England. You had a football. And boom, there it is. All right, here we go. My house, 1953, has 2 ghosts. My stepdaughter and her stepmom claim to be able to sense them. They both said it's an old lady and an old man. Don't worry, they're friendly. That's what they all say. They said the old lady used to be a gardener and she likes the plants you have. One day, this neighbor was walking by who hadn't been by our house in some time and told my wife, "Oh my gosh, I haven't been here in forever. I remember the old lady who used to live here. She always had flowers out at the front here and a bunch of plants inside the dining room." As she looks in our window, she says,
"Just like you guys do."
Remind me of something like a "you like it darker" kind of
that's
thing.
that's like creepy. Like, yeah, that's cool. Someone has a good imagination. Good stuff.
Yeah. Dylan?
I'm skeptical about this one.
Yes.
I feel like I don't see any valid proof here.
Yeah, dude.
Coincidence.
Coinky dink. Who doesn't like houseplants these days? You know, it's 2024.
Exactly.
Everybody's got houseplants.
No ditties.
Bro, some of us more than others. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are you trying to say, bro?
Nothing. Hey, live your life.
My family has something that bothers us at night. It waits until you are at the threshold of sleep or already asleep, and then it vibrates the bed. This has happened to 5+ people in multiple houses and hotels across multiple states. People who have not been directly vibrated have felt the vibration by placing their hand on the bed of the person who had just woken up.
Interesting. I believe a certain group out there calls this soaking.
That's all we need to know.
Listen, bro.
Uh-oh, Dylan's got one. And watch this be the one Dylan believes in. Go ahead, Dylan.
Nah, that ain't no ghost. That's Diddy.
Oh boy. So I would actually be more apt to believe this one simply because if you are haunted by a ghost, I do not believe the ghost is anchored to a place if it's following your family around. It's anchored to you, bruh. And that's even creepier.
Yeah, bro. Apparently it shakes the bed, you know?
It shakes the bed, man.
Forget that. All right. Here I lived next to a Civil War battlefield. We had a lot of weird experiences in and outside of the house. Random music, whispering, footsteps, hearing things fall upstairs, but nothing was out of place when you checked. Feeling of someone sitting next to you and so forth was very regular. I haven't had anything weird happen since I relocated. Civil War battlefield? I mean, come on, bro. There's all sorts of weird things that happen at those places.
I believe this simply because if you're in a spot similar to, I've been to Waverly Manor before, and I've told that story on this show, but just being in there, you feel some type of way. It could just be because you know the history, or it could be like, you know, if there are supernatural things out there and there was just one spot where mass casualty happened, there's bound to be some type of lingering energy there. I'm more apt to believe this story than any of the other ones we've heard so far.
What are you talking about, bro? You didn't believe in the glowing soccer ball?
I think I find the Civil War battleground to be a smidge more credible.
Yeah, I'm with you. Dylan?
Yeah, I could maybe believe this one. Just maybe, though. Just maybe.
Just a little, just a smidge?
Maybe.
All right. Let's see. We got... All right, bro. We're going to go with this one. My grandma was a force of nature, and I loved her. When my grandma died, the relatives locked up the house, and it remained untouched for 10 years. Hey, we're Italian, and we don't let go easily. Except for regular bi-weekly cleanings, I eventually bought the house and started clearing things out because everything was exactly how it was the day she died. The first night we were in the house, it was hot as Hades. But my kids, teenagers, tried on Grandma's fancy robe, jewelry, and wiglets. Don't know what a wiglet is, but, you know, whatever. They rooted through dressers and trunks. It was all fun and games.
Until it wasn't.
Thoughts? Was Grandma still there?
I'm
First
not,
off, dude, why are you trying on her wiglets?
That's where I was going, bro. Like, I'm not messing with the deceased's wardrobe in a house that hasn't been touched since the deceased left. No, thank you. I'm not even going to roll the dice on this one.
Oh, I found out what a wiglet is. It's literally a wig.
Sweet.
So they were putting on their grandma's wiglets. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, it didn't make sense when I was reading it.
Definitely odd for putting on your dead grandma's wiglet. But
Leave her wiglets alone.
Yeah,
I gotta know more about what actually happened.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? I'm skeptical because it doesn't go into any detail about what actually happened. It just says until it's not.
It's true.
No evidence.
Would you put on the wiglets?
No. Why would I put on the wiglet?
You wouldn't put on a wiglet?
No.
I think that's a good place to stop this segment.
On a wiglet.
All right, guys. Speaking of scary ghost type stories, man, we got a good one for you today. We will be right back as we're going to talk about incidents around the house here in just a moment. Josh Malerman is an American author of novels and short stories. Before publishing his debut novel, Bird Box, he wrote 14 novels, never having shopped one of them. Being the singer-songwriter of the Detroit rock band The High Strung, Malerman toured the country for 6 years as the band played an average of 250 shows a year, and Malerman wrote many of the rough drafts for these novels in the passenger seat between cities on tour. He says this about those days: I never saw the books with dollar signs in my eyes. It was a hobby, that's for sure. It was the real thing and always has been, but I was happy then simply just writing. And while I blindly assumed they'd be published one day, I had no idea how something like that occurred. As a pile of rough drafts grew, he did the question, As the pile of rough drafts grew, so did the questions as to what he was planning on doing with them. Well, he no longer has to question that because Josh has had some very successful works, including the book that we are starting today. Robert, what's it about?
This one is about a haunting told from the perspective of a young girl whose troubled family is targeted by an entity known as Other Mommy. That's it. That's the gist of it. And leading to that, this book starts right off the bat with a nope. Like the kind of chapter that makes you go, yeah, all right, I can't read this unless it's dark outside. Like lights off. I want to be laying in bed. I need spooky vibes up when I'm reading this book.
This book has the like you said, the first chapter is an absolute nope. And what is it, like 20 words or something crazy like that? I'm listening to the Audible version of this. And it was like the chapter was like 1 minute, and the entering the heart part was just a can I enter your heart? I was like,
no, you cannot.
No, please, never again. Leave us alone. But yeah, dude, big nope. Dylan, share with us. Did you read this book with us this week, bro?
I am Other Daddy.
That answers nothing, by the way.
That answers everything you need to know. Yes, I did read the book this week, and I knocked it out in like, I don't know, like the first 19 chapters. Like it was like 2 hours of the book, whatever. Knocked it out in one sitting, sort of. I was at work and I was just listening, I guess. And like you said, that opening chapter really sets the tone for the book, I think.
Yeah.
It's literally, I don't even think it's a minute. I think it's literally like 30 seconds. And it's just, it instantly, like, especially reading the audio or listening to the audio version of it, the Audible version, like, first of all, the voice actress doing a little too well playing a child. Kind of weird, to be honest. But she's doing a phenomenal job so far. And then coming in and Bella's like, Bella, the main character, she's like, there's Dado and Mommy and I'm like,
so she like whispers like in the Audible version, like she changes her tone when she's talking about other
members. Yeah, the first chapter just really sets the tone for the whole book and gets you really engaged. And I think the perspective through the it's definitely unique. Like like not even just with the voice acting, obviously in the Audible version, but also with the way the writer is kind of telling the story. You can tell that it is through a child because there's certain things that she'll say throughout the book, and she'll say something, and then she'll be like, "Well, that's what Daddy says," or "That's what Mommy says." Like whenever she's like, "Mommy's schedule is all over the place," and that's what Mommy always says. And like, so I feel like those little additives like in there just really puts you in the mindset of a child, and it really makes the creep factor a little bit even more intense, I think.
100%.
I agree. I'm just going to throw it up on the screen for the video viewers. This is chapter 1, and this is I'm not listening to the Audible. I'm reading the Kindle version, and this is how it's formatted. Chapter 1's literally like a paragraph, and it's "Good night, Daddo. Good night, Mommy." And then it's just broken up with 3 sentences, and then "Hi, say I'm so excited to see you again." And that's it. And the way it's written, this is how the entire book's written, is in this format. And it's told from the perspective of a child, which is unique. And then it's even written to kind of open up your imagination a little bit. And I love the way the author did it, personally.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, I think that Dylan, you made some good points with the talking about how it's from the perspective of a child, and you get that like so well. It's so well done, and in that just the way, because sometimes I'm a little bit, I don't think we've read a book that's done it quite like this before from like such a young perspective, and that's really her the whole time, outside of when parents are talking to her, or she does like what you were saying where, well, that's what Dada says, or that's what Mom says, or whatever. But it honestly, because kids are creepy, as Robert's little name tag says down there, and it's very, very true. Obviously, I got scared by one of my own children just a few minutes ago. But it makes this book have an even eerier feel the entire way, because she trusts this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what it is right now. Ghost, demon, I don't have any clue. The narrator, just so we kind of give her a shout out, is Delaney Nicole Gill, and kills it.
To speak on the perspective, we have read one book, at least I know of, that we covered on this show, and it was The Queen's Poisoner.
That's right.
Jeffrey Wheeler. It was like an 8-year-old perspective, but even still, the writing style in this is vastly different than what that was. So I've definitely never read anything written the way that this novel's written. I'm glad to hear it transfers over to the Audible version for people who want to listen. But dude, let me just tell you right now, if I ever go in my kid's room, I'm like, "Hey, good night." My kid says, "Good night, other daddy," throwing the whole kid away. It's starting over. Absolutely not. Early book did a good job of setting the stage, man.
Dad seems like a champ.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
Dad's a good dude. Seems like he's just, always there to make everybody, feel a little better. Mom's trifling right now.
Yeah, mom, little cray, dude. Dad kind of reminds me of me. One of my favorite early parts is he goes in Bella's bathroom. He's like, "Oh, it's the toilet. What'd you do in here?" He ain't aware it's a ghost. My man just thought someone's dropping bombs. I do that all the time. Walk in the bathroom like, "Oh, I'm yelling at my kids right off the rip. You don't know how to spray? Courtesy flush?" That's me too. I'm just like this dad.
One thing that I don't understand, and maybe it's because I'm not a parent, and maybe you guys might have a different perspective, but who sits in their child's room and confesses their deepest, darkest secrets while their children is literally like asleep?
That's a good, I think that's a good observation. I would say that I don't do it the way but there have been times like where I'll sit in the room with like one of my children and talk to them while they were sleeping, especially when they were like younger.
Yeah.
You're
maybe
really
not sleep deprived as a parent, Dylan.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say I would necessarily go in and go, "Here are all the worst things that I've ever done." But I know that I've sat in my kids' rooms before while they were sleeping and like chatted with them like in a more casual way, and a lot of times it's like, hey, more of like a telling them how much I love them, or, speaking some like kind things to them, but never like, "Hey guys, let me tell you about the time I stole this thing when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Or anything crazy. It's just it's a very weird dynamic, but I guess you have to, right? To because you are writing from the child's perspective to understand more about the parents. I guess you had to do it this way, but there's dysfunction all around. So she seems like, I think what I'm gathering at least is that she's the anchor of the family, kind of keeping them all together.
Yeah.
Because mom's, doing her thing running around, and then dad is, I feel like dad has to at least have some sort of idea that she's doing these things, right? There's no way he's that oblivious.
No, there's been several instances where so it's heavily implied through these first 19 chapters and pretty much confirmed towards the end of it that the mother's having an affair.
Sure.
And she's not happy in her marriage. And I think the author does a really good job as we go from chapter 1 through 19 of kids pick up more than you would think they do.
Sure.
See a lot more that's going on. There's a scene where they go to the zoo. And in the zoo, they're like, oh, Bella, go on ahead. And Bella's in her monologue, oh, they're fighting again. Kids pick up on these little things. They're,
100%.
So the author does a good job of translating that. But yeah, essentially that's what's going on. The mom's having some type of affair. Bella knows something's off. I have to feel like the dad knows because there's several times where she leans in to give him a kiss. He's like, nah. Or she tries to give him a hug and he's like, spin move. He knows something's going on.
He knows something's wrong.
I feel like I may have a theory. Early on theory, I could be wrong, could be way off.
I like this. Let's go.
I think, and this might be a little spoilery. Is that okay?
Sure. We're going into discussion.
Yeah.
I think that the parts where the parents are in there sitting on the bed, I don't know. I feel like this is somehow, because I know there's been obviously some instances where the parents have been in there and they've seen other mommy, but I think it is somehow other mommy manipulating Bella into thinking the parents are in there, telling her these things.
Oh,
because I don't think I feel like because Bella, it's something that early on is really important that Bella says. She's like, I want mommy and daddy to be happy all the time.
Mm.
So I think other mommy is making it seem like to Bella like there's a lot more problems that are going on than there actually are. They may be having issues, but I think it's she's amplifying it because there's that one part where she comes in and her mommy is telling her everything, but it turns out it's actually the other mommy that was telling her all this stuff. So I feel like she's been manipulating this whole time because she feels like if she thinks there's something wrong with mommy and daddy, she'll let her come into her heart so they can swap places because she's going to trust other mommy to fix mommy and daddy's issues. Early on theory, I could be way off. We'll see.
I think it's a good observation to make.
Because I remember when that happened. That's an eerie moment.
That is an eerie, bro. There's been a lot of eerie moments. There's one where she runs up the stairs and other mommy's sitting on her bed, but her back's facing the door. So she walks in and just sees her back and her hair and the way she describes it. I'm like, Bella, why would you go in this bedroom?
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
She doesn't know, bro.
Did we miss it or did I miss it somewhere? And do they say how long other mommy's been around or has other mommy been around since?
I feel like since she was 2.
Young. Yeah. I don't know if they've said the exact age, but her parents flat out ask her how long has this been going on?
That's right. And she says it. Yeah. Because honestly, I don't know. I mean, scary is scary and whether you're around it all the time or not, but maybe since she's been around other mommies since she was 2, maybe she's a little more.
Well, I could be wrong on that. Actually, I may be thinking of Hidden Picture.
Well, other mommy keeps talking about reincarnation and hey, and she says hey, if you let me into your heart, we'll swap spots and you'll go to where I'm from. And to me, it just sounds like other mommy, whatever type of entity or demon she is, she's just trying to, I guess she has to be invited in. I don't know the rules.
Yeah, it's a vampire. It's like a vampire vibe right there. You have to invite me in before I come and destroy your life.
They're just yo, you're mine now. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
interesting.
Yeah, but that other mommy, the playground scene, dude, I don't want to shy away from. Bella's at the playground with her friend, and they start like, hey, let's tell scary stories. And Bella kind of confides in her friend, like tells her about other mommy, and her friend's like, dude, nah, and takes off running because Bella scared her. Bro, it creeped me out when Bella went up in that little playground jungle gym thing and saw her friend Deb sitting there like crying. But then she like transformed or whatever into other mommy. And Bella fell down the slide and hit her head. Like that was some information. They're like, oh, other mommy can like impersonate people. That takes this creepiness to another level.
It's almost like a mimic or something.
Yeah.
Well, even she was like, what would you do if other mommy, would you kill other mommy for me or whatever it was or whatever she was saying, dude. It was a very creepy kid moment, dude. And there's been quite a few of those.
Yeah. So do you think anybody's going to get unalived by other mommy in this one? Like maybe Kelvin, the babysitter. I feel like the babysitters always die. Man's red shirt. Like,
oh man, Kelvin's just doing his best, bro. He's just trying, fun teenage guy who just wants to stare at his phone and get paid to, make sure that the kid doesn't do anything too crazy.
Or what about Lois Anthony, the medium? She going to get it? I feel like the mediums in these always try to help the family and other mommy helps her.
Yeah. I don't know. So far we haven't seen anything that indicates that other mommy can physically do anything outside of just like be a super scary presence and ask if she can walk into somebody's heart, which is
it feels
such
like
a creepy thing to say.
It feels like she can make herself known to other people if she wants to. Like they had that party and she was in the corner and creeped out a neighbor, and then they went and stayed at their neighbor's house, and then the neighbor's dad was like, oh, Ursula, I thought I just saw you upstairs. So it seems like other mommy can kind of come and go as she pleases and mess with people.
Mom got mad about those friends of theirs because she was like,
mom's tripping.
Yeah, because I'm like sitting here thinking, it's like, they got a new baby. You guys are saying that there's potentially somebody breaking into your house and chasing you guys around. Yeah, I don't know. We all want to think like, hey, we would do our best, and maybe we would, but I just don't know. That was like, mom was wild out there, bro.
Mom was wild out there, dude. But again, after that scene, is that kind of where we get to the end? Like they decide they're gonna go stay at grandma's house. So I feel like that's
there's
just
like the two deers and all the laughing and all that kind of stuff. Do you guys think that was other mommy when she was speaking on behalf of mom, like when she was pretending to be mom and she's like, and I was in college and I slept with every man that I ever saw. And she goes, well, maybe not, but pretty much, like doing all that. I wonder if that was like, because some of the things she said were things that we kind of were implied throughout the course of the book, right? So far as that, other mommy's having an affair. Part of, she's even as she's sat there and talked to Bella some, it seems as if she's expressing some guilt in the fact that she's living a double life. Do you think other mommy is like digging deep into her emotions and being real? Or do you think that this is, again, maybe she's just manipulating Bella by elevating that more? Because really, mommy's a little crazy. People can be angry and mad, but it doesn't make them like, because the way that other mommy was having her talk was like, I don't even want to be here and I don't want to be a mom. And you're pretty much robbing me of my life and the things I want to do and all that type of stuff. And I was just kind of thinking like, man, is this her? Is she able to basically, speak for how a person really feels, or is she, is this just a game?
I think it lends some credibility to Dylan's prediction. That whole scene is like other mommies just kind of manipulating Bella into thinking her parents are unhappy. I do think there's some underlying problem going on. If it was as bad as other mommy impersonating mommy was making it out to be, that remains to be seen. But right now, I want to say it's just other mommy kind of manipulating things to try and get Bella to like, hey, let me in your heart. But that was a good scene. That was because that was like the real mom walks in and sees her, and then it's like that's kind of when the haunting craziness can begin now, because now the parents have to believe the little girl because one of them has seen other mommy.
Here's my prediction for the ending of this book.
Sure.
I think I think that we are going to be left on a cliffhanger. You remember Willie the Weirdo?
Yeah.
How, walks out and there's mannerisms that are different, but yet you're like, okay, well, Grandpa just took this kid and became the kid, right? A part of me wonders if we're going to be left on some sort of cliffhanger like that. Like, there's going to be a moment where it's like, it could be that Bella allowed her in the heart, or she's gone forever. And we'll be left with this cliffhanger of, well, is Bella still Bella? And it's going to be left to our interpretation.
I like that. I'll say there will be a cliffhanger, either that or it's going to be the family thinks other mommy's gone, and the book ends with like the closet door creaking open.
Yep. I can see that too.
Something to that effect. What about you, Dylan?
I don't know. I guess I didn't really think that far.
It's okay, dude. Sometimes you can enjoy the ride.
Yeah, dude.
I had that one theory, and I felt like I cracked the code. I didn't really think much past that.
You live across the street from these people. You're Amanda and Dan. And that family shows up knocking on your door in the middle of the night, like, someone's in my house. And the cops come. There's no one there. And they're like, can we please stay? You letting them stay? You letting these people crash at your crib? Paranormal entities? What's up?
I'd like to think that if it's, they implied that these were like bros and like good friends. I would like to think if it was like one of you dudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if it's like any of my rando neighbors right now that are living by me, like if you listen to the show, I'm sorry, but I don't know you like that. Okay. Like if you come over here saying there's a ghost in your house and can you please stay? I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but if it's one of you guys, sure. I'd like to think that I'd let you guys stay and not kick you out, even if things got weird.
Yeah. So you're a chump like Dan, Dylan?
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, when you first asked the question, I was going to say they're out of there. But now that Justin mentions it, if it was one of you guys, I'd like to think that I would do my best to
power through
with you.
VJ's like, you guys are all on the streets, man.
Wow. You both are like Dan. You're both soft.
I like that Robert's over here acting like he's somebody.
You're both. I love you guys, but you come in here talk about ghosts and demons. The door's getting shut, player.
Yeah, right.
Well, I really let me rephrase that. Justin, you can come over. Robert,
all right, thanks, dude. Robert's just in a ditch somewhere, man. Forget Robert, bro.
I will say, dude, we're closing here. We're getting at the end of this discussion. When they were at Dan and Amanda's house and Bella was like waking up in the middle of the night and she was like pulling the blanket down because she thought she heard the sound someone makes before they take a breath. That creeped me out. And then her mom's just staring at her, like her real mom, not other mommy. Like her mom's just looking at her. And like little things like that raise tension in a good way for me. Because it's like, I like that in a spooky book. Visually, it took me to like the Netflix show Haunting of Hill House. Like you keep waiting for something to happen, and a lot of times it doesn't, and that helps build the suspense. So when something does happen, it's like, oh, okay, you got me. This book does that well.
Yeah. And I hope it ends well like that, because sometimes it does that, and then you get to the big moment, and you're like, what is this?
If a book or a TV show like Hill House can creep me out and I'm like entertained throughout, I can almost forgive a bad ending. Which
sometimes
this book has creeped me out. It would take a pretty bad ending for me to be like, okay, at this point.
Yeah, I get that. Hill House, I feel like had that though for me a little bit. Because that movie, there were moments in that show where like I yell out loud because I get startled easily, just in case anybody didn't know that. But but then you get to the end of it and it was so wonky. You're like, what's going on? But so far, man, this is I'm very, very pumped about this one. I'm glad we're reading this.
I'm glad Dylan's reading, dude. I can't tell you listeners how excited I was to get a text message today that Dylan has not only read this book, but he also finished Hidden Pictures.
Yeah, literally. I read, and I think, did I start Hidden Pictures yesterday?
Look at him. Our sweet baby Dylan's growing up right before our very eyes.
I don't remember if I may have done it all today.
Well, the cool
that's
thing
a lie. I
is
think I started it yesterday, but
is that you guys can probably look forward to us doing a spoiler episode of with hidden pictures just to have as a additional content post, because since Dylan read it, I would revisit Nerdy Reads revisit. We've talked about doing things like that before. Yeah. So, and that if we were going to revisit a book, that's one that I would definitely go back and.
Oh, bro, that was not expecting that ending.
I know you weren't.
We saw your expectations. You sent them to us.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, guys? We talked about that last week as if you're going to read a book this year or this holiday, this Halloween spooky season, Hidden Pictures, can't go wrong with it if you haven't done it before. We're going to close this one out. We got our last 3 words. Dylan, what you got for us?
I'm other daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my.
Mm-hmm. I don't like the way you said it. Robert, what you got?
Dylan's other daddy.
Okay, other daddy. We'll just go with that. All right, guys. Hey, that wraps it up for chapters 1 through 19 of Incidents Around the House. Hope you guys are reading this with us. Even if you aren't, I'm sure this is still, these are the kind of books that are still interesting to listen to people talk about because it's just eerie and creepy. So give us just a few minutes because it's sweet baby Dylan time and some nerdy news.
All right, and it's time for some nerdy news. So every time you tune into an episode of the Nerdy Reads podcast, you can expect some of the latest and greatest news from across the nerdverse. And each week, we like to kick it off with the sighting of the week. And fellas, we got something interesting. Usually we have a video. Unfortunately, this week it's not a video. Justin shared a video, and I didn't use it because I had something else already. But maybe we'll do it next week. This week, we got something that comes from the Paris catacombs.
Ooh.
So, this, fellas, is a image that a Reddit user, top_cup_1731, shared onto Reddit. And he says, I was having a bit of fun pursuing through Google Earth and stumbled upon this inside the Paris catacombs. Please tell me you can see this too. I swear that I can see a leg and arm and what looks like a distorted head.
I see a leg. I'm in for the sighting of a week. I see the leg down there.
Is there any way of blowing this up?
There
we go.
I see that leg right there in the bottom left.
Use your where?
Like right here?
Yeah. It looks like the leg comes down. That's what I see. Comes down and then the foot.
Okay.
Yeah. I can see a leg, man, but I feel like also you can look at stuff and see whatever. Like I see an arm up above the leg a little bit, and then, it could be the guy from Beetlejuice. Right.
I see a giant puff of smoke is what it looks like to me on the right side. And that's all I see.
Listen. I think
we got 3 listens.
It's serious now.
Well, I actually see right here. I see a hooded figure right along this line here.
Okay.
Far left, and I see another one right here.
See, I see that there for sure.
Okay.
And then I'm seeing an opening over here. This has to be some sort of hallway where some light is shining in. Now, I do see the little dust cloud here.
I'm going to go and say this is real. Shout out to the Redditor who found this ghostly image.
Hey, thanks, Cup.
Thanks, Cup.
Hey, bro. He found it on GiftGap Wi-Fi, so it's real.
Oh, that's it, dude. Hey, and he had his phone at 82%. It's responsible.
He was being prepared, It was only and
I live with my phone at like 20% when I'm out and about,
Man, he wasn't up past midnight too, so yeah. I believe it.
We'll go with it. I mean, hey, stamp of approval by the Nerdy Reads podcast.
Thanks for the sighting of the week, Dylan. I love this one.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that one I figured I would throw it on there just because the Paris Catacombs and we're in spooky season.
Oh,
It kind of went really sort of well with Justin's spooky stories from Reddit. So,
Hey, thanks Reddit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
it's
you,
like-
Reddit, for being amazing.
Reddit is such a great source.
Oh, dude, and it's
I
all
agree.
real and true.
Info. Oh, of course. Everything on Reddit is real.
Yeah, dude. Just in case you guys didn't know.
Even soccer balls, they glow.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Dylan.
All right, so our next piece of news is something that I feel like we've all been waiting for a little bit here, and that is the Sony State of Play this past was it the 21st, I think. I could be completely wrong. I don't know.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday. At the time of this recording, it was yesterday. So we're going to pull up an article that goes into all the biggest announcements, which, let's be honest, it wasn't a whole lot.
I mean, I can give you the biggest announcement. Goes to Yotai.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh,
The game looked cold if you're
That's
a
on
Ghost of
here.
Tsushima fan. Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remaster is pretty cool.
It is.
There was a game announced I'm personally excited for, but I kind of hope it comes to the Nintendo Switch, the Lunar Collection. I love Lunar Silver Star Story and Lunar.
I imagine that not coming to Switch.
Yeah, man, I really hope it does. Astrobot getting DLC is cool. I've been playing a lot of this game. This Astrobot game could very well, Zelda pending, end up be my game of the year. If not game of the year, it's in my top 5. But I only play 5 games a year, so it's not hard to get into that list. But this Astrobot game's amazing.
Hell is Us. I saw some of the, I don't know if it was just some sort of reveal thing, but it looked pretty good. I don't know much about it, but graphically it looked really, really good. And the environment the game takes place in looks pretty sick. I don't know what Rogue Factor or Nikon is, these developers. I've never heard of them. But apparently they are making a new game for that.
Thanks.
And then we also got Metro Awakening. They announced a lot of VR stuff, which I'm not much of a VR person. I don't know how you guys feel about these VR announcements.
Very bad. Every time one came on the screen, I was disappointed.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, I guess. I'm trying to find some of these good ones. Sorry, Power World. We got, I guess, Power World is finally launching on the PlayStation 5 because I believe it was not on PlayStation 5 for a long time, right?
Right. I find it humorous that it's launching the same day that Nintendo sued them. That's good too.
They need to make some money back. Didn't the Nintendo win some money out of that?
Not again. They won a lawsuit, but not against them yet. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, they'll find something.
Oh yeah. There it is. That Lunar Remaster Collection. I really want that. I hope it comes to the Switch. I like collecting these old RPGs that I played when I was a teenager on the Switch. And even if I never play them again, it's cool like having my childhood in a little box somewhere. So I hope I can get that on the Switch.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
This was something that was interesting. It's Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack. It's a DLC for Sonic Shadow Generations. I also saw, speaking of Sonic, they're doing some sort of collab with DC, I think, that they're going to I don't know. I saw a picture of Shadow actually dressed up as Batman or something like that. I think that's cool. Pretty sick. I don't really know. I don't know if it's going to be a separate game or a movie or something that's coming out, but maybe I'll look more into that and come up with some updates on a future episode. Then we also got some DLC for TMNT Shredder's Revenge. That got announced also.
It's a great game, dude.
Hey, Dragon Age.
The Veilguard. Actually, I did see the trailer for this. This actually looked decent. I played some of the on 360, some Dragon Age stuff. I never got super into it. I don't know if you guys have ever played Dragon Age.
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet baby Dylan.
Oh, Summer Child.
Dude, there's some of my favorite gameplay videos that I've recorded came from Dragon Age games.
Yeah, I'm definitely like, I really want to play this game, and hopefully I can find the time to make that happen, because the video they showed off yesterday did look really good. It looked like the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth fighting style a little bit.
I think my issue, like, it sucks too, because there's like even Baldur's Gate. Like, I want to play Baldur's Gate, and I would want to play this, but like you said, it's like the idea of turning on a game that I'm going to have to play for 100+ hours just to get anything done in is terrifying.
It's daunting. It's daunting.
Yeah, I really want to play Baldur's Gate. I haven't gotten into it, but I do plan on jumping.
Do you own it?
I do not. I plan on buying it at some point, though.
If you buy it, though, we have to have a Nerdy Reads.
Yes, that would be fun.
Nerdy Reads group, bro, because you can play as like D&D.
I think it'd be pretty cool. Then we also got this Alan Wake 2 expansion called The Lake House. This trailer that they played was actually kind of spooky. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, Alan Wake 1, I really like that game. I like Control, and this is supposed to put those games together. I haven't played Alan Wake 2 yet, which is a crime considering all the garbage I buy and mess with, and I haven't actually bought this game, which is supposed to be really good. So maybe one day, check this out. This would be the perfect month to do it.
Soul
Cool.
Reaver Remasters.
I mean,
I don't know what this is, to be honest.
Oh, Dylan, bro, these are amazing games. Amazing at the time. I don't know how they hold up. I guess we're going to find out.
well, I like when they do remasters like on games like this, because then I feel like it feels like I remember it being.
Exactly.
And as long as it does that, I would be pretty happy with this. It doesn't have to look like today's modern game, but as long as it like feels like I remember it being when it first dropped, then I'm cool with it.
And this is a budget price. You get both these games for like $25.
Dylan, you should maybe look into that. I mean, they're fun games.
And the storyline's good in them, Dylan, if I recall. The only tragedy about this, there was a game set before these two called Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, and it played a top-down Diablo style game. And they're releasing that, but you have to have like the most expensive PlayStation Plus membership to play it. They didn't release it to buy, but if you have their expensive collection thing, then you could download it and play it.
Sounds
Crazy.
like a typical Sony move. We got Lego Fortnite split screen update.
Boy.
Boring.
So excited about that. Dynasty Wars Origins.
Bro, there was a time when you were PS2 era, you go to your friend's house, he'd have Dynasty Warriors 2 on the screen, be like, oh, how are they doing this? And then they oversaturated the market with these games.
There's too many of them now.
Way too many.
And it was cool back then, but it feels like nothing's changed.
Then we got this game
now.
that you guys are hyped for.
Dylan, you should be hyped for this too.
Dylan, you really should, dude. If we don't have a Nerdy Reads team for Monster Hunter Wilds, what are we doing?
I tried to play Monster Hunter. I don't know, whichever one the last one was.
Rise or Worlds?
Worlds. I think.
Oh boy, he's gonna say something crazy.
Like I just couldn't get into it. I mean, I'm willing to revisit it. I'm willing to give it another shot. I don't know.
It's more fun with friends. If you were trying to play solo, I can get why you may not.
100%.
I trust you. Well, we got another Lego game, Lego Horizon Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Friendly oriented spin.
When I played through Horizon Zero Dawn, I went, you know what, dude? I wish they made this more kid friendly. Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, well,
This is
you can play it remastered.
No, the original game's not even that old, man. It's crazy.
That's hilarious. When I saw that's hilarious. Come on now. Money grab.
Man.
100%. Same thing that they were doing with The Last of Us.
Stellar Blade's a game that launched and was supposed to like have a bunch of hype around it. And I guess it bombed. And they're like, you know what, dude? All these gamers love 2B from Nier Automata. We're going to put her in this game. Peace.
Mm-hmm.
What we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say this one. Ghost of Tsushima sequel.
Yeah, dude.
Ghost of
That's what's
Yotai. Is that Yotai?
We'll go with that.
Go with it, dude. I'm just going to say right here, dude, if you've never played Ghost of Tsushima, even if you're bored of open world games, the storyline in that game hard carries. It's one of the most gorgeous pieces of video games as art I've ever seen. I played it on a PS4 before PS5 was even out. And this game on PS4, in my memory anyway, still looks better than half of the stuff that gets dropped today. So visually, it's going to be good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really need to actually finish. I still have yet to finish the first game. I think part of that was because by the time I got the PlayStation, there were other games that I wanted to play, and so it was hard to like go back and play it. I don't know, but as much as I have played it, it was a really fun game, and I probably will play the sequel once it comes out. Looks like it's set for release in 2025.
There you go.
And then we got. I guess that's PlayStation Plus games, which who cares about that? Towers of Agasabi? Agaspa?
Yeah,
Hold
dude,
on,
I don't
dude.
even remember seeing.
Hold up. This is described as a mix between Animal Crossing, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Studio Ghibli.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't even remember seeing them show this game yesterday.
These are all things I love, though. This combination.
I feel like I
It ended on Ghost of Yotai. I thought I don't remember seeing this, but okay,
I mean, all those things that it said described it are awesome.
100%. Yeah,
we got more. We got what is this console cover? Now on October 3rd.
This stuff kills me, dude.
Meanwhile, buy the PlayStation Pro for $700, and on top of that, buy the 30th anniversary edition for $30, just gray.
That's the first off, dude. Let's not. The 30th anniversary PS5 Pro actually made me go, do I want a PS5 Pro? And then when I saw there's only 12,500 of them, I was like, I wouldn't be able to get one even if I wanted it. But the original PlayStation has a lot of nostalgia for me, and Sony knew what they were doing when they released that.
Yeah,
I'll at least buy that controller.
I actually do think the 30th anniversary edition does look pretty cool. So all trolls aside.
If anything, I want one of the controllers.
Man.
Because all of it looks cool, but the controller looks really cool. So
I have the PS4 controller in my collection over here. It looks like a PlayStation 1 controller. So I got to get the PS5. It needs a buddy.
Heck yeah, dude.
All right, so that's pretty much all the state of play news. I honestly, overall, thought it was kind of underwhelming. I was expecting maybe some more, Wolverine updates, or maybe like a Days Gone sequel, or I don't know, maybe an Infamous reboot.
Yeah, Wolverine would have been cool. Infamous is
so good. Why are we not remastering Infamous?
Well, bro, because Sony's the king of like making these cool franchises and then burying them never to be seen again.
Yeah, until way later.
Yeah.
And then
Astrobot makes a little bot in its game for it, and that's what you get.
Yep.
Shout
out Okami. I just found that bot in my Astrobot game.
There was another thing that I was going to bring up, but honestly, I might save it for next week and go ahead and end our nerdy news there because I feel like that was a lot to kind of cover. Not really, because it was kind of underwhelming, but that's okay. That's going to end it for our nerdy news.
Here's our nerdy news for the week. Sorry, it sucks.
Yeah, but that's going to end it for nerdy news this week. Robert, you know what time it is?
Man, it's time for What's Hot. We here at the Nerdy Reads podcast can't read everything. That's why I bring you something from around the book verse. And this week it is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Wrath of Goddess by Rick Riordan. And it's book 2 in the Senior Year Adventure series. So guys, today I learned that there is 18 books in the Percy Jackson series. For some reason, because I've never read these, in my head, I thought it was like Harry Potter. And there was like 7 books that are like beloved by people. But today I saw this pop up on new releases. It actually came out this week. And I'm kind of Percy Jackson curious. That Disney Plus show was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I might check the books out until I saw there's 18 of these joints. But if you're a fan, this latest book is already charting bestseller charts everywhere. It follows Percy as a high school senior in need of 3 recommendation letters from the Greek gods to get into New Rome University, which leads me to believe there's going to be a Percy Jackson Goes to College series too. This one, the goddess Hecate has offered Percy an opportunity to receive a recommendation by pet sitting her mastiff Hecuba and her polecat Hale over Halloween week while she's away. But naturally, hijinks occur. Hecuba and Gale escape, and it's up to Percy, Annabeth, and Grover to retrieve them before she gets back on Saturday. So, apparently, this series also has legions of fans of all ages around the world. It's one of those series I feel like I missed out on, dude.
That sounds awesome.
Dylan, you Percy Jackson, dude? Is that something from your childhood?
I really, really liked the Lightning Thief movie, the OG. A lot of people hated it. I personally thought it was a phenomenal film. Lady Gaga carried. Simple as that. I don't know. I'm curious as to why it took 18 books for him to get just a senior year. What's this man been doing?
I think from my understanding, because I had a moment there where I was like, I'm going to go read Percy Jackson. What's the reading order? I think some of these books don't actually deal with Percy, but they're set in the universe. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. Nerdy Reads Robert, you're wrong. Go ahead and let us know in the comments. But join us next week, guys, because Dylan's going to continue to read the book. We have our own sweet baby Dylan reading along with us. We're going to cover chapters 20 through 38. So stop on 39. In part 2 out of 3 of our incidents around the house coverage. The hardest part of this 3-part book club for me is not just sitting down and knocking the thing out tomorrow. How about you guys?
Oh, yeah, easily. This is one, and I think even Super Reader in the Discord mentioned that too, is that this is one that you could easily sit down and read in like a day or two. I mean, it's got that kind of pacing that you could easily read this very quickly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into work tomorrow, and by noon, I'm going to be already through all the chapters, and I'm going to be sad for the rest of the week.
You also have to find. Hey, dude, you have to find another one, bro. There's plenty of other cool. You know what, dude? Holly, go get Holly.
Man, there you go.
I thought about it.
You might as well, bro. And we'll do Nerdy Read revisits with Dylan on all the books that Dylan wasn't here when he wasn't on the show yet. We'll go back and we'll have Dylan's input on all those books as well. All right, guys, we had a lot of fun today. We talked about a lot of ghost stories. We talked about libraries giving out ghost hunting kits, all sorts of fun and exciting things. The boys tried some Diablo queso or whatever it's called from Qdoba, and we read some stories from Reddit. There's a lot of other things getting ready to come up, including incidents around the house. We have a lot of things that we're planning for spooky season, some guests, all that kind of stuff, and we are so excited about all that. You're going to want to keep up with it. Robert, where can they find us at?
You can find us over on Facebook, Instagram, Goodreads, YouTube. Like and subscribe at the Nerdy Reads Podcast.
You guys know, we can't ever end an episode. We can't, shouldn't, never will, without some advice from our very own sweet baby Dylan, our sweet other daddy.
Listen. To your heart.
Okay, there it is, boy. Wow.
My man went for the creep show on that one. Well, guys, if that doesn't make you want to read book, nothing else will. So, guys, appreciate you guys always supporting us and checking us out. It really does mean a lot. And we see a lot of people who will leave us notes in the Discord about just the episode and give us some feedback and encouragement in that. And we're just grateful for you guys for doing that, taking time out of your day to encourage the show the way that you guys do. But here at the Nerdy Reads Podcast, we enjoy a good story, and we believe that your story truly matters. So be good to each other and stay nerdy, our friends. Say bye, everybody.
Peace.
Bye.